All right, we are going to talk about some people's favorite skill and some people's least favorite skill, which is breaststroke kicking. Fortunately, no matter if you love it or you hate it, everyone can get better at it. And the way we're going to work on improving breaststroke kick is through kick counts. So why does breaststroke kicking matter? So more than all other strokes, the kick is key in breaststroke. I'm not sure what the specific numbers are, but I think I've read up to 50% of the propulsion may come from the kick in breaststroke, where we're talking 85 to 90% in the other strokes. So it is that big a deal. And as I'm sure you've seen it in your coaching, you've seen a lot of people be pretty successful with pretty bad kicks in the other strokes, but it's pretty hard to be really successful with a poor kick in breaststroke. And so if you don't have a kick, you don't have any speed. And so some swimmers can compensate a little bit by just picking up their arm rate and doing more of the work with the upper body. But breaststroke pull is pretty hard, and so that can be pretty exhausting. And so if they have to swim a full 100 or a full 200, that can be pretty tough. And if they're doing it in the context of an IM, it's going to be tough to back up the freestyle when you're doing all the work with your upper body. The other challenge in breaststroke kicking is there's nothing else like it. All the other kicks are totally different. Everything's kind of rotated in, whereas in breaststroke, everything's rotated out. So it's a pretty novel skill, and that's why you see some people be really successful with it and some people be not so successful with it. So we're going to help more people be successful with it. So what are some of the challenges of improving breaststroke kick? Well, the first challenge is trying to teach to the model. And so every swimmer is going to have different range of motion in their hip, knee, and ankle, and they're going to have some different combination of all three of those. Likewise, they're going to have different levels of strength in their hips and in their knees and the muscles that move those joints. And again, in the different combinations. So we've got 5 different variables here, and it's going to be in all sorts of different configurations. And that makes it difficult to prescribe one perfect kick for every swimmer. And so that's going to be one of the major challenges of teaching breaststroke kick, is that you can't necessarily know what's going to be the best kick for each athlete. And that presents a real challenge. And the other challenge that comes with that is that you have some people that are perfectly suited to have a great breaststroke kick because of their structure. And you have other individuals that are perfectly suited to never have a good breaststroke kick because of their structure. However, we need to find solutions for both of those swimmers to improve. Even if one has a much higher ceiling, we still want both to get better. And the other issue is if we're relying almost predominantly on verbal feedback, move your knees in, move your feet out, move your feet back further, those type of strategies, they're not super concrete and they are difficult to implement when you have many, many swimmers that are in your group. And it's also hard for swimmers to continue to remember these cues and remember these things, especially when they get tired and or bored. Also, there's no performance feedback. So swimmers are never orienting their kicking actions towards performance. They need to know if what they're doing is working. And so if they're just thinking about their kick, they're not going to be able to orient their behaviors, orient their kick, figure out what works, because they're not trying to accomplish a concrete goal. So one of the solutions I really like, counting kicks. We do it with swimming. There's no reason we can't do it with kicking. And obviously breaststroke's a different animal than flutter kicking and dolphin kicking, where the numbers are much higher and the rate's much higher. But in breaststroke, the rate's plenty low, the count number's pretty low, we can make it work. And so the key value is making efficiency objective. Was the kick better or worse? Did you take more kicks or less kicks? The numbers don't lie, they're not arguable, and they give swimmers something concrete to orient their behaviors towards. It allows them to seek a goal and accomplish that goal. And so when we do this, we put the outcome over the process. So we don't necessarily care how they achieve that kick count. They can position their feet and their knees and their ankles in any way they want based upon their structure. They can figure out the best solution for them. But all that matters is the numbers change and the numbers go where we want them to go. And because we can't predict what's going to be the best kick for them, because we can't know all their different range of motions, we can't know all of their different strengths and how all of these things interact, we're better off just giving them some goals and letting them figure it out. It also creates kick control. So swimmers learn how to use a range of kick counts to create speed, and that allows them to get gears. And so they have some flexibility in terms of how they swim. And if they're gliding too much, if you're concerned that they're going to do that, just give them some time goals too, and that way they can't glide. So it adds another layer of objectivity other than just times. By having their kick count, you get a lot more information, and it also enables them to change how they swim rather than just trying to swim faster. They can try to swim faster and more efficiently, and that's going to change their kick, which is ultimately going to change their swim. And my favorite part about using kick counts is that you can train it. So you can add resistance, you can add speed, you can do it at higher and higher intensities. You can change the kick counts. You can have them alternate going from a higher and a lower kick count. You can alternate the kick counts, alternate between a higher and a lower kick count, either within a repetition or by repetition. You can have them add kicks, you can have them decrease kicks, you can integrate it into swimming. So say do 350s kick, take less kicks each 50, and then do some breaststroke swimming. You can integrate it into drills. You can alternate kicking and 3 kicks, 1 pull, and then 2 kicks, 1 pull. You can do it in different kicking positions. So basically, you do kick sets, you train the kick, but now you've just added a different component to it, so you can have them be aware of their kick counts, or you can have them actively trying to change their kick counts. And the sets are going to look exactly the same. You're still doing kick sets. You're doing them the exact same way, but by forcing them to explore how to be more efficient with the kick, you're going to get better skills as a result. You're going to get more engaged swimmers. You're going to get more confident swimmers. And it doesn't take any more effort on anyone's part. They just have to pay attention to doing it. And so that's why I find this to be a really, really effective strategy, is that you can quickly and easily integrate it into your training, and you don't lose anything, but you gain a whole lot. So what does this look like in practice? Here are 3 simple sets that you can use as a starting point to implement this idea into your workouts and into your coaching. So first one, 8/100s breaststroke kick with a board. Pretty standard, but now we're going to go odds. The second 50, they have to take fewer kicks. And the evens, they're going to descend 1 to 4 at the same kick count. So they can pick their kick count, but they have to get faster as they go through. So you're working on efficiency, and you're working on efficiency at speed. Next set, odds, take 1 less kick per 25, so they have to actually be able to change their kick count. They have to be able to be in control of that. And then evens, they're going to add a kick each 25, but go faster. So by adding the kick, they need to be able to pick up speed. They're not just adding an inefficient kick, they have to add an efficient kick. And you can have them change their kicking position every 275s so that they're learning how to execute this skill in a bunch of different situations. Last one is more of a speed-based resistance set. Is you go 25, take as few kicks as possible, 25, kick as fast as possible, 25 where you're minimizing the kick and the time, and then the fourth one is as fast as possible again. And the odds are with a parachute, they're going to get a little bit more resistance. They're going to get a different feel for it. The evens are no resistance. With all these sets, you can start throwing swim stuff in there. You can start throwing 3 kicks, 1 pull, 2 kicks, 1 pull to load the legs a little bit more. The options are infinite. It just adds another dimension to your leg development, and one that really puts an emphasis on efficiency. And if you've ever used stroke count and you found that to be effective, I guarantee you get the same results. It's the same thing with breaststroke kicking. And especially for those that are really good at breaststroke and really not good at it, or anyone that needs to improve, it starts getting them to orient their kicking behavior towards more effective kicking really, really fast. And that's super powerful. And you can do it within your training. So give that a shot. And as always, keep it simple.